The Northwest Detention Center is a private immigration prison facility located on the tide flats of Tacoma, Washington. The detention center opened in 2004 under a contract with the United States Department of Homeland Security. Though owners have changed over time, the facility is now owned by the WUA Group, which operates prison facilities in Australia, the UK, South Africa, the US, and Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. A contract with Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, the largest and primary investigative branch of Homeland Security, expanded the facility's housing capacity to 1,000 detainees, making it the largest detention center owned by the WUA Group on the West Coast. In 2003, ICE launched Operation Endgame, the largest police operation in U.S. history. Its goal? To remove all undocumented migrants in the U.S. by the year 2012. The project's predecessor, Operation Wetback, in 1954 removed 1.2 million Mexicans from the American Southwest. Since July 2007, raids have increased the number of detained migrants from 18,000 to 26,000 nationwide. Homeland Security relocates 700 detainees a week in the United States. Migrants in the facility in the Northwest are mostly from the regions of Oregon, Idaho, Alaska, and Washington. Due to an increase in raids, they've recently come from places like New York, Puerto Rico, and Guam. Nationwide, tens of thousands of children every year lose a parent to deportation. 85% of those detained don't have legal counsel, since they do not have a right to due process or protections against unlawful searches or seizures. After raids in the Northwest rounded up hundreds of migrant workers at a time from places like Auburn, Washington, and Portland, Oregon, a protest in solidarity with the No Borders Action Camp in Arizona took place in Tacoma at the same time. The march was not focused at the facility itself, which is tucked away unnoticed among shipping terminals and Superfund sites, but at the Wells Fargo Bank building, which invests in the WUA Group's operations worldwide.
On private property or you will be arrested.
You're white, racist, superior.
The immigrants who are down there in the detention center have a right to due process under the Constitution of the United States. George Bush has no right to hold them on a trial. Tear it down! Tear it down! Tear it down!
The march was labeled a Homeland Security threat and policed heavily. Police with cameras and less than lethal weapons intimidated protesters and suggested that local landlords evict the protest organizers from their homes. The march occupied an intersection for more than 10 minutes, circling from crosswalk to crosswalk until police used force. One woman taking pictures was arrested for spitting on the ground and then intimidated by police and bystanders. Another was arrested for disarming an officer, though that charge was later dropped.
The WUA Group is responsible for running the ICE Detention Center here in Tacoma. The WUA Group is also responsible for maintaining privatized prisons across the country. The increased incarceration of people of color, the increased incarceration of immigrant communities, and the increased surveillance of activist communities. Just like the Department of Homeland Security calling the Pittsburgh Info Shop a terrorist threat. We are not a terrorist threat. They are the terrorists. They are the ones that are deporting people. They are the ones tearing apart families. They are the ones responsible for the atrocities in Iraq.
In front of the Wells Fargo Bank building, another arrest occurred.
One of the leader cops told him if the person takes a step forward that they can arrest him, and then the person took a step back and the cop grabbed him and drug him away and arrested him.
Why are you changing? Hey!
As raids at job sites increased over the last years, members in the community seem to have noticed little. As purges in accordance with Endgame increase, the Tacoma activist community is attempting to increase awareness about the facility's proximity and what it stands for.
Greater than justice, nothing less than justice will be acceptable. We're going to continue to protest until the facility down there at the Taj plant is dismantled. It's dismantled and it's gone. And the people who are there get their justice.
And until we stand up to police power, to the power of banks, and to the power of corporations, then we're never going to get anywhere. We need to have sustainable networks of communities dedicated to resistance against ICE, resistance to against fascist forces. Let's play some music.